Top Trump administration officials head to Mexico in the face of controversial immigration and border policies. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. U.S. President Donald Trump sent his top diplomat and Homeland Security chief to Mexico on a fence-mending mission. It was just days ago that Trump unveiled his controversial new immigration plan, prompting anti-U.S. protests and swift rejection by the Mexican government. And then there's that other controversy, the wall along the southern border that candidate Trump insisted Mexico would pay for. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto has vowed his government will not, even as the United States announced plans to move forward. For more on the meetings, we turn now to CGTN's Franc Contreras in Mexico City. And Frank, U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, as well as the Homeland Security Chief John Kelly, are both in Mexico. They've held meetings with Mexican officials. How did it go? Any progress towards bridging this divide between these two countries?
Well, Anna, there's a real clear effort on the part of the United States officials who are here in Mexico City today to try to send Mexico the message that things will be ironed out eventually. They know that tensions have definitely been running high. In the lead up to these meetings, U.S. President Donald Trump himself characterized the meetings as very difficult, and he knew that a lot of that had to do with messages coming directly from the president himself, messages on his Twitter account talking about things like immigration, the kind of crackdown, the kind of ideas that Mexicans were receiving when it came to issues of trade, for example, on trade valued at $500 billion every single year. The United States government now under Donald Trump saying that it might want to pull out of the free trade agreement with Mexico. And so many concerns on the table here. When it came to immigration, there were concerns of mass deportations. U.S. Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly tried to send this message to calm fears.
Let me be very clear. There will be no mass deportations. Everything we do in DHS will be done legally and according to human rights and the legal justice system of the United States. The focus of deportations will be on the criminal element that have made it into the United States. No, repeat, no use of military force in immigration operations. None.
Secretary Kelly also said the United States will not be using National Guard forces to hunt down migrants in the United States, undocumented migrants, and of course that was a reference to a proposal that was leaked to the Associated Press that indicated the Trump administration was considering the possibility of using national security forces.
Right, Frank, so where do things go to from here?
Well, at this stage, there was, again, a clear effort to try to move things forward. The Mexican government, for its part, with Foreign Secretary Luis Videgaray at those meetings, he suggested that Mexico is willing to work with its northern neighbor, the United States, but of course Mexico will exercise a lot of caution. They know that sometimes the president will say something and then policy plays out in a different way. That seems to be the way things are unfolding in this early stage of the Trump administration. So Mexico alerting all of its diplomatic consuls inside the United States, consular offices, they should be standing by to help migrants there just in case things do take a turn for the worse. And of course, the issue of trade is still looming here. What will actually take place with the North American Free Trade Agreement, and whether or not Donald Trump will decide to slap steep tariffs on Mexican products coming into the United States, something Mexico says will harm not just Mexicans here, jobs here, but also consumers back in the U.S. Anand.
Okay, thanks, Frank. That's CGTN's Franc Contreras reporting from Mexico City.